Hi everyone, my name is Ben Haskin, and I am a sophomore at SCAD that has been living here at the Hue for the entire 2020 to 2021 school year. Located literally at the edge of Georgia is the Hue, a 6-floor apartment complex close to the SCAD campus in Savannah. Like, really close, like Anderson Hall is like right there, and Hammond Hall is just down the road. I've enjoyed living here so far, as it's extremely close to campus and doesn't have as many restrictions as a dorm building would normally have. No offense to RAs. This was really nice back in the fall, as the Hue became a hotspot for students to bring their friends and hang out since people weren't allowed to bring their friends to their dorm rooms. This was, of course, before vaccines were widely available, and now it actually seems like the Hue has gotten quieter since then. Sure, people including myself still brought friends over from time to time, but something just didn't feel as lively or atmospheric about the building. It seemed like people tended to hang in their own social circles more so than hanging out with people who all live at the Hue, or at least that's been the case for me. This project was created to see if anyone else who lives here is feeling the same way, and to push myself out of my comfort zone and to be less introverted. The results weren't quite what I expected, but I certainly learned a lot about the building, its residents, and myself in the process. The plan was simple. I wanted honest feedback from the Hue residents, as I'd been hearing mixed results about people's experience living here. I didn't want people to know at first that I created the survey, so I came up with an idea to get more people interested in taking it. On the 3rd floor of the building is a little snack shop that sells chips, candies, drinks, and that sort of stuff. If I could offer up a chance to win a free snack from the 3rd floor, maybe I could get people to take the survey. So I got to work. I created the survey using Google Forms. In the description, I wrote my Snapchat and Instagram usernames in it so people could follow me and challenge me to a game of pool, also located on floor 3. If they won, I owed them 1 snack from the store. I then copied the URL to make a QR code, which if you want to take a second, maybe even pause the video and scan real quickly so you could see the questions I wrote, feel free to do so. Then, I created a poster in Photoshop. After going through different designs and layouts that I didn't like, I finally decided on the design that you're seeing right now. I printed out multiple copies of the poster and got to work putting them up all around the building in places that I thought would gather heavy foot traffic, such as the stairwells and elevators. I also put a few posters up on the 3rd floor, just for good measure. And before I share the results, I want to quickly talk about something funny that happened after I put the posters up. So, the poster I had put in the elevators and on floor 3 had been taken down, and I'm not sure who did it. Not only that, but not even a full day after I started putting the posters up, I got a text from the front office saying that there's some sort of quick event where I could possibly get free food. Kinda weird timing, if you ask me. At the time of editing this, I've received around 30 responses. I would have had maybe some more if someone hadn't taken down some of the posters, but I digress. Like I said, the results were not what I expected. I kept the results anonymous so people would be more comfortable answering truthfully. I at first wanted to see what people thought about their experience living at the Hue overall. So at first I asked a couple of questions like, do you like living at the Hue? Do you like the location of the Hue? And do you think the price of living at the Hue is fair for the value? Which surprisingly got a 50-50 split. I asked if residents felt like they were safe living at the Hue or not, and got overwhelmingly positive responses to that question. I also asked if residents felt like the maintenance and janitors do a good job keeping the building clean, and I actually got a little more of a negative response than a positive one. One of my main goals with this project was to see if I could encourage more socialization amongst the Hue residents. Many of the questions on the survey asked if residents had made friends with other people who live at the Hue, and if they still hang out with those friends, and if they think that the Hue staff and management could do more to encourage socialization and that type of stuff. When I asked if residents use the amenities that the Hue provides often, such as the pool table, the gym, the swimming pool, etc., there was an overwhelming response that said yes, they do. I asked residents if living at the Hue made them feel like they were part of a community, and most people who answered this question actually said yes. I also asked if they had been to an event on floor 3 that was organized by the staff, and again, most people said yes. I also asked that if they hadn't, did they plan on going to one in the future, with again, overwhelming yes response to that question. I asked if residents had had trouble making friends with people who also live at the Hue this year, or if they had just had trouble meeting new people at the Hue this year. Not a whole lot of people said yes, only about 16.7, so let's round that up to 17% said yes, while 43.3% said no, and a solid 40% said sort of. And when I then asked, have you become better friends with those people, 67.9 to 68% said yes, 18% about said sort of, and only about 14.3% said no. Like I said, one of my big goals with this project was to ask people and find out if they thought the Hue provides a good environment to socialize with friends and other people, and for the most part, people said yes. I then asked, though, that if they thought that the Hue doesn't do this well, how can they improve upon this for next year? And I got about 7 responses to this question. One said not having events during class, which I can definitely understand. Another said maybe more events, which means that a Hue maybe does actually a really good job putting those on. Another person said events other than just grabbing something and leaving. Maybe that just contradicts what I said. Maybe the best response that I got, and one that kind of put the entire point of this project into perspective for me, was the last response I got on this question that said, there is no way to improve. It's an apartment complex, not a dorm. Whoever answered this question is honestly completely right. So, even though the survey was a success, remember that whole point of the project where I challenged people to a game of pool? Yeah, I've gotten no responses on social media about that. To be fair, the last 2 weeks of the quarter aren't exactly the best time to try to get people to play pool for a free snack, so I get that everybody is busy right now. On the bright side, I'm not losing any money paying for people's snacks. Not that I would have lost a pool game anyway, not to toot my own horn, but still. So, what did I learn from all of this? Well, I learned that more people enjoy living at the Hue than I thought, and that I could also push myself to meet new people in the building. I need to attend more of the events organized by the Hue's staff that take place on floor 3, as I'm sure they are a great way to meet new people in the building. I also need to talk with the people I already know who live at the Hue more often. Maybe I can challenge them to pool sometime. I plan on living at the Hue next year, so I'm glad this project gave me a new perspective on how I could improve my own living experience here and make it more enjoyable for myself. Overall, I've had a great year at the Hue, and hopefully in the fall the pandemic will be even further behind us and next year can be even better. Until then, thanks for watching.